Hi, I'm Ella McFadden, and this is my lesson plan presentation over Miss Atkinson's 6th grade class. My teacher, Miss Atkinson, for our community-based project, I have interviewed 6th grade language arts and social studies teacher, Miss Atkinson, where she teaches at the Butterfield Middle School in Van Buren, Arkansas. When asked what problems she has in her classroom, she said it was the demand for technology use, but the limits she and other teachers have at Butterfield with the budget the school has. Since schools in general have been letting go of pencil and paper, technology is being used more and more, and with technology comes subscriptions and payments. So, how can this problem be solved? To solve this problem of a tight budget with being a teacher at a smaller school, Ms. Atkinson has been looking for ways to find programs, websites, educational games, and online platforms that are free to sign up and use. With these available sites, Ms. Atkinson can now help her students be able to learn individually, in group work, and use the technology to help her present and educate her students with their attention kept. So, about the students, like I said, Miss Atkinson is a 6th grade teacher at the middle school. So, her students are at the ripe age of 11 and 12 years old. And so, being able to properly educate these students and keeping their attention spans on Miss Atkinson's lesson is a top priority. These students grow up with technology, they are familiar with it, so being able to find good online education sites or apps that the students can learn from is essential since that is what they're used to. The curriculum alignment and standards for this lesson, the Arkansas academic standards that the lesson will follow is RH.6 through 8.8. This means that the students will be able to distinguish among fact, opinion, and reasoned judgment in a text. The NETS S standards that the lesson will follow are 1.2 digital citizen and 1.5 computational thinker, whereas the students recognize their responsibilities, the opportunities for positively contributing to their digital communities, as well as being able to develop and employ strategies for understanding and solving problems in ways that leverage the power of technological methods to develop and test solutions. Technology resource 1 is Quizlet. Quizlet, so for the first resource, Quizlet provides many ways to teach the students the subject. There are flashcards, which lets the students learn key terms and be able to know terms and their definition. There's also the Learn category, which has students know a mixture of hearing the term and writing the definition, matching, multiple choice, and more. Another part of Quizlet lets the students take practice tests of all the terms that they had been struggling over. Miss Atkinson could post a link of the Quizlet to her Google Classroom, and her students could use the tool on their own Chromebooks. The second technology resource is Nearpod. Nearpod is another tool that Miss Atkinson could not only share with her students via link on Google Classroom, but she could also present the video in front of the whole class. So she could help them understand what the technology tool is showing or presenting. The cool thing about Nearpod is that the video is also interactive. This could let the person be able to learn together and vote on what answer is correct in order to continue the video. Nearpod lets Miss Atkinson be able to let her students learn more about the lesson, about, for example, ancient Egypt with the whole class or individually. Nearpod is a tool that gives the teacher an option that Quizlet does not necessarily do, which is the opportunity to bring the classroom together and learn together. And for technology resource 3 is Powtoon. So the third technology resource I was able to find, like I said, is Powtoon is really good for sixth grade students, especially going over the lesson. I'm using for an example, Ancient Egypt. Powtoon is an online tool that is a whole lesson that is detailed and goes deeper into whatever the subject the teacher is aiming to teach his or her students. This tool is another free and easy to use tool for the younger audience like sixth graders. This tool can also be shared via link on Miss Atkinson's Google Classroom if she likes. This is so the students can go on the online tool themselves. Miss Atkinson could also share the presentation in her class so it could reach all the students at once. This tool gives the teacher different options, just like Nearpod. Access students' learning. With the use of these technology resources, the lesson could be able to access Miss Atkinson's students' learning by letting them learn through formats that are familiar with the students, easy to use, appealing, and lets the students have some freedom. Miss Atkinson can be able to present her lesson to her class, and then the students can be able to work together or work alone. In order to see if these students learn from using these suggested resources, Miss Atkinson can use a rubric to grade and have an end of the lesson reflection worksheet. So rubric. A rubric is a great guide to grade the student's work and to see what parts of the lesson each student is strong in and what they had a harder time being able to accomplish. These rubrics in the classroom as an outline for the students to be able to gauge what all they are expected to understand from their teacher is a great form of communication and decreases the chance of any confusion. Reflection. Another thing that is a great way for a teacher like Miss Atkinson to be able to access her students' learning after each lesson is to have an end of the lesson reflection. How detailed the reflection questions are varies from teacher to teacher, but just having a small worksheet assignment where students can write down a summary of what they learned over the lesson or what resources helped them the most and what resources they did not like as much or was not helpful is also great for the teacher to know. Thank you.